episode is Benny Walter. What's up, mate? How's it going? Been a while.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Um, we're going to discuss lots of topics from, obviously, we met through Nurad Gundich, which is a 2 month leadership camp out in Warrnambool. We're going to discuss like the country, the city life, because obviously Benny's living in the country, sorry, I'm living in the city. Obviously, Benny's also a big Carlton supporter there on the rise. I can't say the same for North Melbourne. We're horrific. Um, and some funny stories, Benny. You know where I'm gonna obviously bring up later. But let's go. The first topic is hypotheticals. So let's talk about if you were to be drafted in, let's say, a year to play in the AFL. Would you rather play for Carlton and not get a game at all, or play for North Melbourne and win 3 premierships? What would you do, mate?
Oh, North Melbourne, 100%.
Oh,
I mean, I love the team, but like 3 premierships is hard to give up, mate.
yeah, that's true. I'd probably go 3 premierships at Carlton if I could, and even though, yeah, 100%. Like, imagine winning 3 premierships compared to not even playing the game and yeah, getting delisted and all that.
I mean, getting drafted is cool, but if I don't get to play a game, why am I there, really?
Yeah, 100%, mate. That's the mentality of life. Um, so we're going to talk about music here. We obviously love the music on the podcast. My intro's pretty sick. And everyone basically has a different taste who jumps on. So what type of music do you listen to, and can you give us a few artists and stuff?
Whoa. I listen to a lot of music.
Yeah.
All very different. I'll listen to anything from old Aussie rock classics to like 2020 club music to 2000 pop music. I'll listen to literally anything
Yeah.
as long as it.
Can you list a few? Like, let's say one song in the 2000s, one in the 1990s, and one in the present.
Oh, listen to a bunch of AC/DC, any of their songs.
Okay.
Things by Sophie Tucker recently, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. Now we're gonna talk about, obviously, we're talking over Zoom. We're about, let's say, 5 hours away, by car, roughly.
Yeah, about 450 kilometers probably.
Yeah, you probably checked that there, right? Yeah, it's a big distance away. So Benny lives close to the Vic SA border, whereas I'm like basically in Melbourne, Wellington. So yeah, talk us through living in a farm. What's that like? Basically in the middle of nowhere.
I suppose it's kind of weird because I don't really know anything else. Like, this is where I live. This is where I've always lived. Compared to Melbourne, it is very small.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I've been to Melbourne, and that place kind of freaks me out. Like, it's way too big. There's way too many people.
Yeah.
And the building. So yeah, it's crazy. But
Yeah.
living here is very sort of community based, I suppose. Yeah, small school, small town. Everyone knows everyone, and yeah, I doubt you know everyone in Melbourne.
I'd be dreaming that. Yeah.
So yeah, it's very small compared to where you are.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine living like in Garo, guys. It'd be the polar opposite. So yeah, I feel like
Well,
we've been similar types of
how many people in your school?
how many people in my school? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
honestly a bit roughly like 600. What about in direct, mate?
Got about 70.
That was as much as my primary school, so I kind of can relate. But yeah.
Yeah, 70 people in school,
Oh,
and that's
true.
my school's prep 212.
Yeah, that is incredible. Incredible.
Very big difference.
So I'm guessing you must get along with your teachers quite well, then. So they probably live around the area as well, yeah.
Some of them are probably up to an hour away.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, we all sort of know each other basically.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, because our teachers would be well closer, but like more distant, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Yeah, closer, but you're less likely to see them, I suppose.
Yeah, true. Now let's move on to before we speak about Murad. Like for those who like are not even in year nine yet, highly recommend like you should apply for the camp. But like, what inspired you to apply for it? Was it just because get a break from school, or just wonderful opportunity? Talk us through that.
Oh, 9 weeks off school, 100%. Nah.
Oh, I love that, man.
Honestly, the the experience, to be honest. Like meeting new people, doing new things.
Yeah,
Like I never thought in my life I'd be start of year 11 talking to some guy 450 k's away that I met in at a 9 week leadership camp.
true. That's so true.
I couldn't have dreamed that, and that's why I did it, so I could do these things, so I could meet new people. Yeah, like basically that's what it was.
Yeah, 100%. Because I feel like it's given like probably all of us a new perspective on like life. Because we're like isolated away from everywhere and did so many cool activities. But yeah, what you said about like the chat we're having now. Imagine like 2 years ago, um, someone told me that I'd have a chat with some kid living like 5 hours away from me on Zoom. I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" So yeah, it's pretty incredible. Yeah.
I, Honestly, I never thought I would have friends from Melbourne ever.
Yeah, no, I've never thought I'd have friends like from way back in the country. So yeah, pretty funny.
Well, I doubt you'd even heard of Garok before you met me, so
Probably not. And you've probably heard of Flemington many times as well. So yeah.
yeah.
Oh, horse racing, yeah. Melbourne Cup, ring a bell.
It's sort of weird to think about. Like in the country, you hear so much about the city and Melbourne and well, all the capital cities of each state.
Yeah.
And then when we got to Nurad and talking to you guys and like realizing that, no offense, but like you guys had no idea what it was like.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
sort of just put it into a whole new sort of perspective for us all.
Yeah.
So really good.
Yeah, and I'll never forget that. What was it like 2 hour chat? Me, you, and JJ had like the very first couple of days about like country, city life, and yeah, it was one of those like wacky conversations that you remember for a while as well. Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever forget that
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, another one, mate. Yeah, just wonderful time. And there's a few more before we fully dive into Murad. But we spoke earlier about Carlton. I think they're demolishing St Kilda. Maybe that's a big call, but probably beating them by a little bit. But you're a reasonably passionate Carlton supporter. Talk us through being a Carlton supporter. I know it's been some tough times just like North Melbourne, but you guys are on the rise. And I saw on your Instagram, mate, you met big man Kudafidis a while back. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Thanks for that.
Uh, yeah, that was really fun meeting him, getting to know what he did. Well, obviously his time was before I was born, but
Yeah.
yeah, good to like get that experience with someone who obviously knew a lot about the game, played a lot of the game, and yeah, with Carlton, obviously it's been disappointing for the first 16 years of my but yeah, it's good to see that we're sort of starting to get back up there. And I mean, obviously never lose faith in your club, but
Yeah, true. Yeah, I know.
But yes, seeing the new players come through and the passion they've got for the game, it's really good to see.
Yeah, for sure. Who would be your favourite player right now at Carlton?
I do like how Sam Walsh plays.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful player. Great as well.
Only 19, 20 years old, and he's winning runner-up best and fairest for the club.
Amazing.
Not bad in his second year as well, so hats off to him.
Yeah, it's true. And what are your predictions for this year? Do you reckon Carlton can make the top 8?
I reckon we'll be close.
Yeah.
We'll either be just in or just out, I reckon.
Yeah, you
But
don't want to jinx it.
yeah, there'll be a lot of good clubs this year, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, maybe not North Melbourne, but yeah. Oh,
Stay faithful.
yeah, it's pretty funny because I'm not a Carlton supporter, but every now and then I go on like runs. Let's say like morning other runs where I head out to Princess Park, where Carlton train. It's pretty funny because I don't go for them, but yeah, she send you a snap like literally the Carlton ground is like right next to where I run usually. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't think my runs go that far. Not that I remember.
Yeah, well, you were pretty fit running a few laps around the Murad block or whatever. My fitness back then is shocking. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all right with fitness, but I'm not sure I could run to Princess Park from here.
Oh, true. Oh, more like if you lived in Flemington, you probably could be. Yeah, maybe not from Durham. That'd be like a ultra marathon times 4. Oh, nice.
Yeah, or times 12 or times... I don't even want to know, to be honest.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Too far.
math talk. Yeah. Um, and yeah, let's talk more about the farm, Benny. Because there's obviously some interesting tasks you do. Like, can you list a few tasks and like your favorite ones to the ones you least like?
I'm a lot more of a like animal person than a like cropping person. So like
Yeah.
obviously there's the two sides to farming. You've got like all your plants and grain and all that sort of thing, and then you've got the animals like sheep and cows and chickens and all that sort of thing. I do prefer more the animal thing, and like shearing and that sort of thing is fairly interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, like in terms of least favorite, what's like your least favorite task?
Sitting in a tractor for 12 day, or actually I think I did, my top was 16 at the end of last year. 16 I was sitting in a tractor, and yeah, after a while the only thing to stop you from being bored is eating a lot of food. That's about it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, very interesting.
But
And
yeah, I'm
yeah, and speaking of yeah,
active than I
yeah,
to sit in a tractor. Like I'd rather be outside doing something.
true. Because like it's pretty long, yeah. Like sitting on a tractor and trying to yeah, basically plow through all the what's it called?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's quite strange because the job I do, I'm not constantly moving in the tractor either.
Mm.
So I'm like stopping and starting, and the times where you stopped and just sitting there doing nothing, it's
Oh,
pretty boring. And yeah, I think my longest day was from 8 a.m. till 2 a.m. the next morning.
damn. No wonder I see a few snaps of the tractor usually.
Yeah,
Oh,
you you tend to get a bit sick of them, to be honest.
yeah. And they cost a fair bit as well. Didn't you say one cost like what, 50K or something?
Depends what you're going for, I suppose.
Yeah, true.
Uh,
There's a whole variety.
you can, yeah, you can definitely get very, very like a lot higher up than 50K.
Yeah.
Honestly, 50K is probably verging on the cheap side. um,
Yeah.
yeah, but I couldn't tell you what the ones we've got cost, to be honest. I don't want to know.
Oh, good mate. Um, and I remember you were talking about cows. Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember? I had this story I spoke with Jacinda about it. But there was one night during the expo where I saw cows in the sky like 100%. Do you like recall that?
I can recall you saying so many times, I see cows, and everyone was so confused, but you kept saying, I see cows in the sky. And we're like, well, okay, but where are they?
Yeah, true.
And it was one of those very strange moments that no one understood, but obviously you.
Yeah. It was one constellation. I can still picture it. It was just cows written all over it, mate. Oh,
I can, yeah, the same night looking up at those stars, and a bunch of us could see a lot of like really angry faces in the stars.
all right. Yeah, true.
Everywhere you looked, there'd be like a frowny face looking at you. And that was kind of weird.
Yeah. I think we named ourselves the Fantastic Five or something because it was like five of us. I think it was you, me, Jacinta, Brody, um, and what was it? The trio, I think. Yeah, might have been.
yeah, you,
Yeah,
me, bro, into
I
yeah,
thought it was
and
the trio.
Patria.
Yeah, those. I think it was Expo One. That was probably some funny stories, and even Expo Two, which we'll dive we'll talk about soon. But yeah,
Yeah,
quickly move on.
I do have stories from Expo
Yeah,
too.
save that. Save that for a couple of segments later. Mate. So move on to the code of a podcast, which is push yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. Benny, what is a quote that you live by? Or just a phrase or something?
Oh, I haven't thought about that. Um, work hard, play harder.
Oh, mate, that is beautiful. Work
100%.
hard, play harder. Yeah, because if you're
Um,
not working hard, you're not like playing hard. Exactly,
yeah,
correlate.
you got to work hard, obviously, to get what you want, but what's the point of working if you're not going to have fun? So work hard, but make sure you play hard.
Yeah, and yeah, you're the guy for fun, mate. Like you light up every situation, which we'll talk about as well. Basically, with a Jack in the Box, I might call the episode Ben in the Box. So, uh, I know you're not. You might be a reader, but are you like into your reading? And what is the last book you read?
I'm very sad to say the last book I read was an English book for class, and it was Macbeth by Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah,
And I'm not very happy about that.
yeah it's quite detailed and yeah, always
Yeah, it
fun to
wasn't great. Oh, hang on. Phone's about to go.
start.
Plug it in.
Yeah, all good, mate. Charge running low or something?
Righto, we're good.
Yeah. Alright, where were we? Macbeth. So like, yeah, it's quite bland and a bit boring. Would you say the same?
Some bits were actually kind of interesting, but the language is really hard to understand, to be honest.
Yeah, it's more like old
Like,
school type stuff. Yeah.
yeah, Shakespeare's my worst enemy. Like,
Yeah.
put in a room with your worst enemy, and I'd be in a room with Shakespeare.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you because for our English, we're doing like short stories and like present day stuff about like this climate change type novel, which is pretty
Oh,
interesting.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Macbeth is good, but yeah, it's kind of it's boring.
Definitely my.
Yeah, not it wouldn't be mine as well. I'd be completely lost in the book pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we probably should move on from Macbeth. A bit of a dull topic.
Not wrong.
Yeah, true. Let's talk about this segment is back because everyone, I'm sure you voted for it as well. So funny stories, it's usually on the potty every week, but not like on Instagram. So it's gonna be back on Instagram from this week, featuring you, obviously. And do you have any funny stories? Probably either from school or the main one, Murad, that you remember fondly. Let's go, Benny. Far away.
I do have one from Neurad.
Yeah. Which one?
So yeah, one day we're all outside. I think it was lunchtime. We're all outside kicking footy, whatnot, and then all of a sudden, two of the girls, Ruby and Patria, just
Yeah.
start like tackling each other, wrestling each other, doing like trying to beat each other up, basically. And we had no idea what was going on. And
Yeah.
they're just like throwing each other around and throwing shoes at each
What the?
other.
Yeah.
And I'm like standing with the group, and at that point I was fairly good friends with Ruby, and obviously Patrice from my school, so I knew her pretty well.
Yeah.
And Eamon looks at me and goes, "You going to handle this?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, go on, just sort it out. Just pull them apart and tell them to cut it out." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, righto." So I walk over there, and I've like grabbed them both by the collar and like pulled them apart from each other.
Yeah.
Go and cut it out. And I think in about 5 seconds, I got hit by 2 shoes, a hand, and I got a hat smacked in my face
Yeah.
and pushed to the ground. And then they were fighting again, so I couldn't do much about that.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that kind of bit. Uh, Eamon's a G, but let's talk about Eamon quickly. So he's always like nice and all that. Most people like him, but do you reckon Eamon's a bit of a delegator? Like he delegates, like that funny story. Yeah, he delegated you to basically try and break the fight when he could have done it himself. Yeah, bit of a
Oh,
dog.
I know exactly what he was thinking.
Yeah.
He 100% looked at me and said, "I don't want to do this, so Ben, go ahead."
Yeah.
And he basically, like, don't get me
Pissed you off.
wrong, Eamon was probably one of my greatest friends I've ever made at Neurad.
Yeah.
Great bloke. But yeah, he just turned to me and went, "You do it. Go on. You break him up." And I'm like, "Oh, righto, you're not going to do it, so I might as well." And obviously that kind of backfired on me.
Yeah. You ended up on the floor. Yeah.
I ended up on the ground with a hat and a shoe in my face.
Yeah. That wasn't very pleasant at all.
Not greatest Neurad moment, I will admit.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to tell Ruby about that because that I forgot about that story. She'll probably remind everyone about it. Yeah, that's very interesting. I kind
She
of
better
forgot
not
about
have
that.
got it, that it hurt.
Yeah. Oh God.
I was just a
Um,
small white boy trying to break something up and getting pushed around instead.
True. You're just trying to make the problem a little smaller, and the problem became bigger, pretty much.
Yeah, I sort of made the problem worse, to be honest.
Yeah, they probably went at each other a lot harder as well. afterwards. Oh,
Yeah, they did.
oh, oh, might have tried and I think the table tennis benches. I think one of them tried to throw one of the or lift the bench. I don't know, but that was just in my. Was it around that area?
I think they tried to, but they
Yeah.
didn't do it.
Yeah, it'd take a few people to lift that bench up. Yeah.
That table tennis bench is going to last forever.
Yeah. Oh, brings back so many memories. Yeah, 'cause I've used that table tennis. You know, which is for another story. But I've got one more. I remember I stitched you up probably last year. I remember it was my funny story, but you were involved in it. So yeah. Anyway, talk us through that fateful night, Expo 2, where everyone was just doing truth or dare. I think it was my dare where yeah, definitely was, but I dared you to run a lap around the oval. And you were basically bloody naked, not even wearing any proper footwear, and you basically started
I
sweeping up.
wasn't naked. I was shirtless. I was
Oh yeah,
shirtless. Not.
shirtless. Yeah, yeah,
I
half
wasn't
naked.
going that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's. Oh, the teachers were in bed. Anyway, yeah, wasn't wearing proper footwear. And you were doing a bit of a Usain Bolt, going at like a million miles per hour through the first, let's say, 10 to 20 meters. World record
I,
pace, then.
I ran 10 meters and it
Oh,
happened.
true, true. 10 meters of world record pace. Um, then bang, it was pitch black. He falls on the ground. We're like, where's Benny? We jumped the fence, or we were probably, yeah, we jumped the fence. We have a look. Then someone grabs a torch, shines it, and yeah, yeah. Explain the rest, mate.
Yeah, so I took the dare. I was like, I'm not backing down from this. So I had no shoes on, obviously, because we're all in
Yeah.
the sleeping bags by then.
Yeah.
So I hopped out of the sleeping bag. Yeah, and jumped the fence onto the oval. And then someone said go. I started running, got about 10 meters, tripped over something, didn't know what it was, and like felt it hit my foot so hard, turned around, and there was a sprinkler sitting right there in the wrong spot. There was like it could have been anywhere at all,
Yeah, that's true.
except it happened to be in the one spot I was going to run.
Yeah.
Like the thing was not big at all. It was probably oh
That's the
10
size of my
centimeters.
phone.
It was probably 10 centimeters tall. And I
Yeah.
like ripped some skin off my toe and
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
took
remember
part of the nail off and it hurt.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
regrets.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, and other people did some dumb shit as well, like bloody snorting mixed herbs, which big man Tommy
Yeah,
bang up as
that was
well. Like, yeah, I forget what else we done, but yeah,
he's still alive, so that's all right.
yeah, yeah. He didn't die from snorting mixed herbs, which our food tech
He
teacher
he
was
didn't
right.
die from snorting mixed herbs. I didn't die from a sprinkler. We're all good.
Yeah, we're all good from that. Yeah, people feel like it's more of a trauma cat, but no, it's not.
I get PTSD when I think of Nurad.
Yeah, actually, yeah, some instances, yeah. So, and more of a like serious note about Murad Gundage, like we spoke about how it's a 2 month leadership camp. You're basically away from your family for that long, except for like visiting weekend, obviously. But, so everyone, no technology. Like we live in a technological savvy world. Like we're on Zoom right now, but yeah, like no tech for 2 months. That's crazy. And you're so busy as well that yeah, time goes by quick. But how did it change you? And basically, what are like a few things you took away? Um, yeah, from
Do you mean in terms of like no technology?
yeah, like what are the things you took away from kind of the whole experience and like no tech or yeah,
Um,
all
I loved the no tech. I reckon it was great.
yeah,
I'm usually spending way too much time on my phone. But yeah, having that no tech just sort of made the experience a lot more real, I suppose. Yeah, like you were always there, always talking to people, doing like physical things instead of sitting there on your phone being a snobby nobody, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, always having that like physical side and like not thinking, oh yeah, it's this time I've got to check my phone again. Instead it was, oh yeah, it's this time, let's go outside.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, it's
Um,
amazing.
but yeah, sadly I didn't take that home. I got home and I was instantly back on my phone. And yeah, really should have toned it down a bit, but I just haven't.
Yeah, neither did I. But recently, I've been trying to get my screen time down by doing those limits, whatever. Which has been alright. What's your average screen time every day, thing?
5.5, I think.
Fair enough. Mine would be on school nights, let's say 2.5, 3 hours. But weekends probably 5.
Yeah, I win.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. You can't live without peace. You agree with that? Yeah. Alright. So now it's a true or false question here. True or false, mate? It's a no-brainer. Has your voice changed drastically since you last met?
I knew this was going to come up. I knew it.
Uh,
That is very true.
yeah.
That is extremely true. I can't think of a question you could have thought of that was more true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that end of year 9, those 9 weeks, my voice was like on the verge of breaking.
That's
So it
true.
was constantly croaky and constant voice breaks, and it was so squeaky and so annoying. And then yeah, I remember sort of halfway through last year we had a video call, and I've hopped on and I said hello to everyone, and they've gone, "Hi, where's Ben?" I'm like, "What? This is Ben." No, it's not. You sound nothing like him. I'm like, I'm 100% Ben. I'm not lying to you. And they did absolute 100% video proof that it was me, because they just didn't believe it.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I didn't believe it as well. Crazy, bro. Would you say my voice has changed or still the same, mate?
Nah, yours has gotten deeper.
Oh, I had it. Oh, shit. I thought mine was already deep enough and knew how to obviously gone deeper.
Nah, got deeper.
Yeah. So I reckon probably that's the maximum. Our voices were
Yeah,
yeah, 100%. No, I don't want it to like go any deeper. That'd be like that sounds just weird, you know.
you never know. It might sound like Morgan Freeman. That'd be pretty
Oh,
cool.
yeah. One of my mates could make a whole Morgan Freeman impression and try to get on the pod. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah.
I mean, he's got a cool voice, so
Yeah, it's interesting as well. If you were to do a talent show, you'd win it 100%, like without any competition at all, for sure.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and seeing around for the CLP day term one like this year, like a few of the math kids in year 9 are going, like or already there. I remember I spoke to, you remember Mr. Valpy, yeah, Bono, the goat,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I had his number from like a reference or something. Anyway, funnily enough, he's the principal of Murad right now. I
What?
couldn't believe it when I heard. You know why? Because 50's gone on holiday, so basically, Bono's got the whole camp um as a leader for me. Yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
know that.
yeah. And what's it
That's
called?
weird.
Might head to the CLP day in 2 weeks, I think. Might have to snap around, yeah, and just show the whole food chat on you. Oh, God.
I think I kind of want to go back one day.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
in like 5 years, just like go back and see what's changed.
Yeah, like we have to probably get a few from the same, like, yeah, like 10 for 2019, get a few people and meet up there because that's where it all started pretty much, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and imagine, like, hopefully my liaison teacher will let it. She's pretty chill, but imagine I get to go and pretty much, yeah, experience all the like CLP stuff that we put so much effort in, but it's not
yeah.
actually me doing it anymore. Yeah, yeah, that'd be incredible. So we'll talk about fears now. So, what are your fears, mate? Mine are like snakes, spiders. I remember the few snakes around Expo and all. Hazel.
If I see a snake ever,
Yeah,
I am no longer there.
yeah, I just
I
sprint, bro.
gone instantly.
Yeah,
Hates
yeah, just
absolute.
yeah, same here. If you see it, safest way to um basically get out of the area is just sprinting. I'd say some people say stand still and it'll go away, but I feel like you're in some trouble if you're standing still. You know, better moving than not.
Yeah, I can't stand still, to be honest.
Yeah,
I I see something like a snake and I run fast.
yeah, completely agree, mate. I'd be the same. Yeah.
I'll probably even climb a tree if I have to.
Didn't you climb a tree one time at New Road?
Yeah,
Was that?
probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think it was
I
the
probably
one where
climbed a
like.
lot of.
Oh, we'll quickly dive into I think it was zone 4. Yeah. Because I remember Eamon talked about this, like the alpacas, and we part of that group where we jumped the second fence onto the alpacas and rode and yeah, did some funny shit and yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There was a bunch of alpacas in the paddock next to Nurad, and some of us like country guys were like, "Oh yeah, we'll show these city guys a bit of fun." And yeah, so what we did is we basically caught the alpacas.
yeah,
Yeah, we were running around for probably half an hour trying to catch them, and yeah, they're aggressive things. They'd like run at you and they'd try to knock you over, and then they'd run 100 meters, so you'd have to run 100 meters to catch them, and yeah, it was pretty fun.
yeah. But the thing I hated most was probably like the aftermath, like the I think the seeds that went into your shoes. Yeah, that was like a pain afterwards.
Yeah, all the grass seeds that went into our
Yeah,
socks and pants, and yeah, that was awful.
yeah. And then probably a good tip is wear like socks with lots of what's the word? Like yeah, not thin socks, the opposite. You know, my English is gone tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
we're like old jeans and sock protectors, basically.
yeah, yeah. What Ben said. uh, um, and I know a few weeks ago I asked you to um spill a bit of tea about your roommate Jaden, who was also on the body. Surely, like, was there anything you boys done um like sharing a room, like any weird like type stuff, or not really that coming to mind?
No, I'm pretty weird. Um, Nothing too much really happened.
Yeah.
I do remember Jaden and I going to one of the other guys' rooms and staying the night there, and I fell asleep under one of the guys' beds on the floor with only a pillow, and that was it. And I woke up with the sorest neck and the sorest back and never did it again.
Yeah. I think that was in Eamon's and Steph's room, yeah? Might have been?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember me and Declan squeezed there. I think, yeah, that was the same night. But anyway, we lasted about, let's say, half an hour. And yeah, the first half an hour was just fucking around, having some fun. And we almost got caught by like one of the old guys. I forgot his name, Mr. McIntosh. But yeah, we used to abuse bloody Bruce, man. It's pretty funny. Like whenever he had night duty, he sleep over.
It was. I don't think I got caught, but I got very close to getting caught.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, like after about week 3, it might have been. We had to like sign this agreement because the boys were having too much fun, and yeah, that basically kind of died off a bit until like the final few weeks. Yeah, the first few weeks, lots of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to sign the boys' agreement, and it was about it was about like staying in your own room and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, no one stayed in their own room anyway.
Yeah, no one. I remember one time I woke up and buddy Sam and I think Seb was in my room, and I woke up and I was what? Morning, Jez. It's pretty funny. Yeah, good time.
Yeah, I think that happened to me a couple times. I think it might have been Seth. I woke up and I just see his afro pop up from under one of the beds. Yeah, and I was like, what the hell? I was like, what is that?
Yeah, Seth sometimes. Bloody Jack in the Box as well, similar to you, type personality. Yeah, interesting people.
Yeah.
And yeah, mate, let's talk about your upbeat personality. Like, you're always on the go, pretty much. In the mix of most things. Just how does that roll, mate? How did you get into like your upbeat type personality? Was it always like that, or just getting the mix? Have some fun.
Always and forever, I think. Yeah, just me, I suppose. I'm not a person to stand around and do nothing, I guess.
True, that's what we like to do, mate. And we know how important the one thing most of us couldn't live without was Milo. How important that was. Quickly discuss how important that was to everyone.
Yeah, so the first 2 weeks probably everyone was allowed to have as much Milo as they liked. Yeah. And then Milo was going out the door very quickly, and the teachers went, you know what, we're going to have scheduled people to serve Milo. Because if you didn't, then like 3/4 of the people wouldn't get any, because as soon as Milo was put out, it was gone in seconds.
Yeah, 100%. I reckon a few servers later on done people dirty. Do you remember that? Were you one of them, or?
I wasn't one of the ones that favoritized, but there were definitely people that were getting bribed to do so.
Yeah.
It'd be like, I'll give you half my slice if you give me an extra scoop of Milo.
Yeah, would have like afternoon tea and all that with like caramel slices, all that type. Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of bribery going on with that Milo.
Yeah, and someone had like, was it a voucher or whatever, where they used it once then I'd see it like the next day as well, and I'm like, what? You remember that
Yeah,
voucher? I forgot
they'd
what it
use
was.
the voucher
Yeah.
and they'd keep the voucher.
Yeah, and also another funny note. You know those two presenters? I think Carla and the other guy, I forgot his name. But after they'd do our talk or whatever, they'd bloody sneak around the back and have Milo. Did you see that video that one of the people sent?
Why did they do that?
Yeah, you never knew? Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I didn't
pretty
know that.
dirty as well, yeah. So I think
They
they
did
did
it.
that. Oh, yeah, sneaky bugger.
Did not know that.
Yeah, well, now you know. So imagine if we go there one day, hopefully I get to go like in 3 weeks. But a funny thing would,
If I,
like, a funny thing would do would, we could just steal a bit of the mileage just for fun or something.
if I go again, I'm 100% taking their Milo.
Yeah. Yeah, so would I.
100%.
You have to, pretty much, like,
It's
baseball
it's
is,
the
yeah, the way it is, yeah. Until you're alumni, you don't get to experience the, you know, stuff, yeah. Let's move on to, similar to your like, personality, but I see you as a pretty obviously driven person. So like if you do something, you do it to like your max ability, etc. Like on expo and stuff. So what would you say motivates you the most and why? Like what drives you the most?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah,
Um, I'm a very active person, but I'm also a very lazy person at the same time.
yeah, that's
Like,
about it. Yeah,
if I have something to do, I'll do it eventually. So, like, if I can avoid it for a bit, I will.
yeah,
If it's something I really want to do, yeah, I'll do it like straight away. Um, but yeah, what motivates me behind doing it is just the fact that I know that it's done. Like it's
yeah.
the
That's what you mean,
the fact that I know that I've done something and I've like helped something out or made something better. And that's it's a pretty good feeling.
yeah, it's like the satisfaction that comes after like completing the task as well. If you mate, like if you remember, like Expo, we fought bloody hard. I remember if I could do it over again, I reckon my cardio is like a lot better now. I run a lot now nowadays. I remember I used to be at the back struggling, but yeah, the
Yeah,
satisfaction after completing the hike, yeah, it was amazing.
I reckon I could do it so much easier now. Like
Yeah, sure.
compared to how I did it then, it
Yeah,
was insane walking and riding how far we did.
yeah. I feel like if we could do New Route again, we'd know like what to do, what not to do, and all that, and it'd be like a fun kind of type thing, if that makes sense. It's like we know what to do, not what to
Yeah,
do, and we just need to get through it. Fine. Yeah.
it'd be a little bit less serious, I guess.
Yeah, more like like fun piece type behavior, but yeah.
Yeah, it'd be more chill and wouldn't be as much of, oh my god, did we do this wrong? And all that sort of thing, which was a bit annoying.
Yeah, that's true. Got a few more for you, mate. So like 2021 just started, but mate, it's gone quick already. Like we're in March. I'm like, come on, man, how quick is that gone? Next thing you know, we'll be in year 12 and graduated. It. What do you like top? Let's say top three goals for this year. What do you want to achieve?
For this year,
Yeah.
um, kind of want to get into finals for football.
Oh yeah. You're playing footy, mate.
um, yeah, that'd be good. Um, just to yeah, get year 11 done. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, obviously do it as well as I can, but yeah, get it done as quick as I can as well. Yeah, and
Is that it?
just stay myself, I guess. Don't change for anyone or anything.
Yeah, I'm sure Dylan friend, Bill Buckley played for the Mighty Blues, but his quote is be yourself because everybody else is taken, and you're doing that. And
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
That's what you like. And let's try something new. Do you want to shout anyone out, like basically anyone from New Age, just try and like spit fire through like names and stuff and like a memory or something, and just you gotta go.
I can 43 people if you want me to.
Oh, true shit. Yeah.
um,
Oh,
no. Yeah, Jaden, if you watch this, mate, room 21.
appreciate it, mate. Legend.
21 forever.
Room 21. Yeah. Yeah, probably let's shout out 1A. I hope you guys give it a listen because 1A, like bloody legends, all of you. I'm sure you'd want to listen to me and Benny, like Ben and Jerry's last stream. You have to listen all
One
the time.
great ever.
Yeah, and shout out to our expo teachers, obviously, Mr. Valpy and Miss Prijoska, legends as well. Yeah, all the stuff. Might have to send it to Bono to have a stuff with it. Yeah, he's pretty sick.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And I'm sure you've probably heard episodes, but you can ask me one question, like we do every week. Try nothing about the podcast, but just far away, whatever you can think of, mate. Any question?
Any question?
Yeah, any question, mate. Nothing's off limits, unless don't switch me off there.
Give me a second. This might take a while.
Yeah, all good, mate. Think of something
Um,
and something golden, mate.
Well, what are your goals for this year, I suppose?
Yeah, fair enough. What are my goals? So, to pass every like assessment this year because I think that's doable if I put my mind to it. Probably find a part-time job because I remember, it was probably one of my biggest goals that in like a year and a half. I still haven't found it. I tried last year like desperately, but probably didn't work trying to refine my resume, all that stuff, and try and get that sorted a bit. And lastly, probably do well in running, mate. I'm putting all my effort into running this year. No footy, no nothing. Oh, I'm playing cricket at the moment. But anyway, when that's over, probably just run all year, try and make states, like, yeah, and prove people wrong. Because, mate, in the PE class the other day, I was like, I was gonna smoke everyone for. I said I'm gonna smoke everyone for athletics, which is in like 2 weeks, and they basically laughed at me. Um, so we'll see how we go, but I reckon anything beyond, like 200 meters and stuff, like a short distance, I'm probably not the best at, but anything over 200, I'll probably smoke some people. So, you heard it first,
Yeah.
Benny. So yeah, hopefully that goes well.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for tuning into the Jez and Friends podcast, everyone. Remember, push yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. Mate, Benny, it's been a pleasure. Obviously, say hello to everyone from Garok, like Brody, Caitlin, Corey, and Patria, you five. Definitely we'll probably see each other or bump into each other down the road, maybe at a Murad reunion or something. But like again, thanks for sparing some time to jump on the potty. I know you're a busy man. And yeah, all the best for what lies ahead, and I'm sure you'll give it a listen and yeah, stuff it out, mate. Cheers.